Hi everyone, for today's video we are going to be doing another face off. Oh my god, I feel like it's so echoey in this room right now. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I used to have a mattress like right next to the wall, but they had to take it out because we have a full house right now and they're using the mattress, and I'm talking right now and I feel like I have to whisper because it is so echoey. I apologize in advance. I will try to get that mattress back as soon as I possibly can, but I can't do anything about that for today's video. So like I said, for today's video we're going to be doing another three-way face-off, and today's face-off is actually including the creator of the face-off itself, and this is my friend Danielle Schmidt. I have probably mentioned her in every other face-off that I've ever done on my channel. I think that she is amazing. I think you guys would really like her channel. She does a lot of very similar content to what I do, I would say, but she's probably more like tutorial heavy than me. I do more product reviews, whereas she does more tutorials, but I mean, obviously it's kind of the same thing. And you guys have been asking me for tutorials about so many different things all the time, so I feel like you would really like her. So the other person that is in this collab is a probably new to you guys person, and this is one of my Australian friends that I have found a couple of months ago. Her name is Tara Lee, and she's such a sweetheart. I found her when she did some videos on the Jawbreaker palette, because I don't remember how this happened, but I know we started talking in the comments and she mentioned that she did a video with it, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go check you out. And what I really like about her channel is that she's very open about the fact that she's not perfect at makeup. Like, she is learning how to do this and she's kind of taken us along for the ride, and she also hasn't really been into colorful makeup for that long, so I find it very fun to watch her because she, like I said, she is still learning, and it's so fun to see someone who isn't used to doing very out there looks really experiment and try something new. I find that very inspiring, and I think that you guys, maybe some of you guys aren't really into colorful makeup either and you would really like her content, so I will of course link both of these lovely ladies down below so you can go check those out. So for today's palette we are going to be using the Jawbreaker palette by Jeffree Star, because this is one of the palettes that we all had in common. So for this face off we have decided to choose 6 shades. Obviously these were chosen at random because it's just more fun that way, and we are all going to be using these same shades in this palette to create an eye look with. So let me go ahead and swatch out the shadows that we are going to be using today. Okay, so I was wrong. I went to look at the picture and we just drew 5 shades. I don't know why I thought we drew 6, probably because in the last face off I did 6. So let's go ahead and swatch these shadows now. So the first one we have here is probably a word that I shouldn't say out loud, but this is the shade Fuck. I really do like this shade though. I think this is a beautiful shade. So here's what that one looks like. And then next up we have 2 that are next to each other, and we're going to be using Orange Juice and Sour, which is the orange shimmer here, as well as the Green Matte. The Green Matte is not a very good shade from what I remember, and I feel like I should have a pretty good grasp of this palette because I've done 10 looks with this, as well as a first impression and maybe a review. I'm not sure if I did 11 or 12 looks with this, but I've done a lot. So for the last 2 shades we have Cotton Candy, which is a shimmery pink, and it's this one right here, and we also have the shade Underneath, which is Delicious, which is a very dark blue matte. So I feel like this is going to be a very interesting color story, and I'm excited to see where this is going, because I feel like this could go so many directions. Like, you can make a really summery and kind of fun, not so in your face look, or you can make something very dark and grungy, given that this dark blue is in here. So I feel like that's probably the direction that I'll be going in, because I want this to be a very just fun and cool look. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with my Smashbox primer that I just cannot ever find. And if my foundation is looking incredibly yellow today, it's because it is. Because when I made my last Sephora order, they had this code where you could do you could get a sample of 4 different foundations, and they were like decent sized foundations. We're talking like 3 to 5 milligrams or milliliters. And so I tried one of them today and I absolutely hate it. It's the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I'm not a fan of this. I'm sorry. I think it's way too heavy. Usually I'm a big fan of like full coverage foundations, and I don't really care if they're that heavy, but this one is just, I don't feel like this one is sitting nice on my skin at all, so I can't say I'm a fan of this, and I also don't think I picked the right shade. So like I said, if my foundation is looking a little bit off, it's definitely because it is So I think what my plan is going to be here, because I feel like the only thing I need to be careful of is to not mix the green into the pink, because they're just not going to mix very well. But both of these mattes are going to mix really nicely into the dark blue. So I think what I want to do is I want to have this blue be into focus. So I'm going to take that in most of my crease as well as down to my lower lash line. But then I'm going to have a pop of color just in my inner part of my crease, both on the upper and lower part. So I'm first going to start off by taking actually this shade right here, which was called Fuck. And I'm going to start by just packing that in the inner portion of my crease here. And I'm also just going to kind of feather this up into my brow. And then I am just going to go straight into Delicious, which was the dark blue here. And I feel like there's a chance I might have to do another 10 looks with this palette, because I remember when I said in that video, I said if this video gets 5,000 likes, I will do another 10 looks with this. And I think that video is at like 4,700 likes or something, and now I regret saying that because that's going to be a lot of work, and this palette is going to be so old by the time I'm able to get that up. But who knows, maybe the people who watched that first video was going to watch the second one as well. I mean, I hope so if I end up doing another 10 looks with it. But I did really have a lot of fun filming with this palette when I did film my 10 looks, so I really wouldn't be mad if I had to do more looks with this, because it is a really good palette. Did I even say what I was doing with this? I think I did. I'm just placing this in my outer corner now, and I'm also bringing it through my crease, and I'm going to be connecting that with the first shadow that I put down here. And I'm taking it kind of slow because I do want to make sure that I get the blend here good, so I'm not pulling it up too high right away. But when I'm starting to have less product on my brush, I'm just going to start blending this upwards and just make sure I get a good gradient here. So I would say my best tip to working with a very dark matte, especially a colorful dark matte, is just to be patient when you're blending and to put the shadow down lower than you know you're going to want it, and then work on blending it out after. And it's just going to be a lot easier to have more control that way, because you're not going to end up, you know, pulling it out and too far right away. So the next up, I'm going to go into the green shadow, which was called Sour, and I'm just going to try to build that up on the inner portion of my lower lash line here. And I'm going to try to pack on as much of this as I possibly can. Now, it's going to look okay in the beginning, but I found that this is the kind of shade that will really fade off my eye during the day, so I don't plan on this ending up being super intense in a couple of hours from now. So I'm just going to go ham with this and really pack this on. And then I think what I want to do next is I want to take the pink shadow and basically put that all over my lid, and then I'm going to take the orange and just swirl that into my inner corner. I don't know how this is going to end up looking, and I definitely wish I had some kind of a lighter shade. Maybe I can pull in something else from my inner corner instead and just do both of those shades on my lid. I don't know if that would be cheating, but I feel like I've always pulled in like something lighter to complete my looks in these kind of videos. Maybe I'll even use some kind of a glitter. Maybe I will just use both of those shades on my lid. Is that cheating? I don't think that's cheating. I don't know. First off, I'm just going to start off by taking the pink shimmer, which was called Cotton Candy. And this is probably one of my favorite shades in this palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm first just going to place it down in the middle of my lid here. And I like to always start my shimmer shade in the middle of my lid, because that's where I want most of the pigmentation to be. And then I work on bringing it out and bringing it in depending on how I want it to be. And I also am just going to make sure that everything is just looking nice and blended here. I might have to go in with a bit more of that blue just to intensify the outer corner here and get the blend to look a bit better. I am probably going to go back in with that first shadow and tuck more into my inner corner here, because I definitely feel like I lost some of that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and place a bit more of the shadow right here. Just going to blend this outwards a bit as well. And then to finish off, I'm gonna go into the orange here, which was called Orange Juice. And I'm gonna place that in the beginning portion of my lid here. Like I said, I do think I'm gonna find something else just for my very inner corner, but I'm just going to put this in like the inner quarter of my lid and just blending it into the pink. So I'm not really happy with how this blue is looking on the outer corner. I feel like I want to wing this look out a bit more because I don't know, I just don't feel like it's intense enough on the outer corner like it is in the inner portion of my eye hair. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start bringing this out a bit further. So I think just to finish this off, I'm going to take one of my Lime Crime glitters. This is the Diamond Dew in the shade Starlight. It's basically like a silvery gold glitter. I did a little swatch of it on my hand here, and I feel like it's going to look really cool. So I'm going to take a bit of this on my Morphe M149 brush and just pop a little bit of that right into my inner corner. So I think this is going to be the eyeshadow part all done. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think I need to just see how it all looks together with some liners and mascara and stuff. So I'm gonna figure out what I want to wear. I'm not happy with the blend on the outer part there. I'm going to work on this for a little bit as well. I'm gonna finish off my eyes and then I'll come back and I will show you the completed look. Fingers crossed it turns out to look okay. Alright, so this is the completed look. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of like it, but I also think it's kind of weird, but like in a good way. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about this. I kind of like it. So for my lips, I used one of my I used my only Hourglass lipstick. This is in the shade I've Kissed. I love this. This is one of my favorite bullet lipsticks formulas. And then for my waterline, I used Calm Mood by Linda Hallberg. And that's basically it. So I'm really excited to see what my friends have done with their looks. I can't wait. I feel like none of our looks are going to end up looking similar, especially with 3 mattes that are all this different. Like I feel like it's going to turn into 3 very different looks. So yeah, I am curious to see what they are going to be doing. So I'm definitely going to be checking out their video as soon as this one is going up. So I would highly recommend that you guys do the same if you have not already checked out their channel. So thank you so much to both Tara and Danielle for willing to do this collab with me. I love you guys so much, and I also love everybody who is watching, so thank you so much as always. If you want to see some other face-offs that I've done, I will pop a few up on the screen so you can go check those out. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.